亚军，吉人自有天相车队73号车组林雪俊、何志荣。冠军，上汽大众333车队34号车组高华阳。车队冠军，吉人自有天相车队。好，让我们有请阿特卡品牌负责人陈波先生来颁奖。合影留念，合影留念。好，合影完毕，香槟时刻。好，接下来 TC2 组颁奖仪式 ，TC2 组的季军，领克纵横车队721号车组吴晓峰、韩东军。亚军，领克纵横车队61号车组王诗琪、戚迪庆。冠军，肇庆啤酒 Racing 毛家红，恭喜！车队冠军，肇庆啤酒 Racing， 恭喜！好，让我们有请阿特卡品牌负责人陈波先生来颁奖。 好，香槟时刻。好，可以喷香槟了。
Welcome along, everybody, to the first part of the season finale of what's been.
下午好，各位观众，欢迎来到我们的赛事直播。我现在正处在上海国际赛车场，与大家共同期待2025 China GT 第一回合决赛的激烈角逐。Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our live broadcast. I'm now reporting from the Shanghai International Circuit, and we are gearing up for the round one final of 2025 China GT Championship. 大家可以通过镜头看到，上海大概在1小时之前就已经开始了有一些小幅度的降雨。那么这样的天气情况可能会对车手带来一些小的困扰和麻烦。We can see that 1 hour ago that there were a little rain in Shanghai, and which caused a little bit trouble for the players. 现在我已经拿到了前3位车手的信息，那么接下来我们将依次介绍这3位选手。And now I am going to introduce the first 3 players. 首先，杆位起跑的是来自 Climax Racing 车队的 Elias Seppanen. Starting from the post position, representing Climax Racing, Elias Seppanen. 紧随其后的第2位发车的是来自 Win Here Harmony Racing 的邓毅。Alongside from him in the second place, from Win Here Harmony Racing Team, Andy Deng. 第3位起步的是来自 Origin 车队的罗开罗。And running out in the 3 top from Original Motorsport 罗开罗。好，首先我们来采访 Climax Racing 车队的 Elias Seppanen。我们可以看到他现在已经是在做着起跑前的最后准备。And we can see that he's making his final preparation. Hi, Elias. Can you tell us your expectation today?
Yeah, will be a tricky start with the weather.
Your expectation today?
Will be tricky race for sure with the weather, playing a little bit of a role, but we give our best, bring the car back in one piece, and hope to get a good result.
So, what is your target?
For sure, we will target. We're starting from pole, so have to target the win, of course.
Okay, thank you so much. 好的，他说希望能够在今天的比赛当中有一个更加良好的发挥，并且最后把一个最好的成绩带给大家。接下来我们来采访 We Here Harmony Racing 车队的邓毅，请问一下，你今天准备好了，或者你的预期是什么吗？
我觉得我们的预期还要放平和一些，因为今天的赛道条件和赛道状况也比较复杂。然后我觉得还是以安全为主吧，希望可以顺利完赛一些。
好的，谢谢。Thank you. And he said that this is a rough competition, and he hopes that he can make it in a safe and steady position. 好，接下来我们来到 Original Motorsport 车队的罗开罗。您好，就是请问一下，您对今天的比赛有怎样的预期 ？What is your expectation today？
讲中文、英文。
讲中文。
OK。首先现在的赛道条件非常的奇怪，因为我们也不知道用干胎还是雨胎，然后赛道条件也比较复杂。然后今天我的比赛从第3名发车，其实是一个比较好的顺位。然后这也是我第一次驾驶保时捷 GT3R 的赛车去参加到这场比赛。首先我觉得这场比赛非常有意思，我看看我们几个 Pro 车手之间有一个怎么样的较量吧。
He said that this is a fierce game, and he hoped that he can see that this is also his new drive. Porsche GT3, and also he seems that it is a good communication for all the racers. 好的，那么这就是前方的情况，我们继续把信号交回给解说间。This is the on-side condition, and now let's go back to the commentary box. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our roving reporter down there on the grid. And as I mentioned, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our season finale of China GT 2025 here back at the Shanghai International Circuit. Scott Woodward's here to guide you through all the action today. And as you can see, one key thing that's happened since qualifying, it's raining. It's wet, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Now, we did have some wet qualifying back at a wet race back at Zhuhai last time out. So this is only, I think, our second wet race of the season. But the weather itself is quite humid, 47%, 74% humidity, 9% wind. It does say 0% precipitation. Not quite sure about that because we do have quite a saturated circuit. What it does also mean, it gives us quite a fascinating setup for what's going to be a very interesting championship fight coming up in the mix as well. Essentially, it is pretty much one hand on the title almost for Eric Johansson because he is 49 points ahead in the championship coming into this weekend. The start's been delayed slightly because I think of some of the wet weather conditions, so it gives us a chance to go through some of the cars and some of the lineup from qualifying this morning, because we had two parts of qualifying. We had the first part of qualifying for GT3, and then we had our GTS, GTC cars in the mix as well. This is a replay here of what happened on the onto the grid, and there's contact between two of the Audis in the field. Now that's on the way to the grid, and I'm not quite sure what was going on. There was one trying to dive up the inside of another, and I can't quite tell the exact numbers. It's a 77 that was involved on the screen here, so it's the Jason Gu and Min Heng machine, and that's the reason why we have a delayed start, because it required recovery down at the turn 14 hairpin. And the other car involved there is the 666. It was Stephen Zhou and Wang Yang Audi. So unfortunately, the two cars have come to blows down at the hairpin before the race has even started. So that looks like it's two cars which we were set to have on the grid. As we had our field reduced from GT cars from 21 down to 19, sadly, because of the incident that we had. In qualifying this morning, it was, as you saw with our roving reporter, a pole position for the 710 Ferrari. This is the Yesi Xiao and Jesse Krohn BMW. And Jesse will be taking the start for this one. It's the drivers who set their times in Q1 that will start race number 1. Hand over to their co-drivers midway through the race once the pit window opens, and then they'll be able to do so. Now, this is the car that could take the title today. This is Eric Johansson, who will start this car number 90. He has a 49-point lead in the championship coming into this race. All you really need to do is finish and get yourself a good result, and make sure, essentially, that the car that's in second place in the standings does not pick up a victory and that he does not DNF, because essentially, when you look at the point scoring, if you look back to one of the other Audis in the field, that being the number 33 of Yan Baiji and Peter Lee, Look at the standings. It is Erik Johansson on 136 points, Liu Wei on Zhe Jinjie on 87. So that's a 49-point gap on that side. Now, if Erik doesn't finish this first race, by my calculations, and Wei and Jinjie do win this race and take the 25 points, it essentially means that you go into the last race with a 24-point gap compared to a 49-point gap from before, and there were 25 points up for grabs. So that would mean that even if what would have to happen, Erik would have to pretty much have a nightmare 2 races, not score a point, and then for the car behind, which is the number 55 Mercedes for Origin Motorsport of Liu Wei and Zhe Jinjie, to win both races, and that would mean that they would take the title by a point. But I'm certain that if Erik can keep himself calm, then that's not going to happen. Here's number 18, Parking Park Racing by Z-Speed BMW. This is Zhang Zhendong and Zhang Mingyang. And in terms of the qualifying order, as I mentioned, the field is set by the results of Q1. So it was Elias Seppunen who set a 1 minute 59.639 to go fastest in the session, and that's the car that it will be. Now that is the Jason Guan Min Heng, I think it was. It came up on the screen for a second, but that car did have its issues, and I wonder actually if that's going to be something interesting as that plays out. There's the 999, which is the car that took pole for race 2 tomorrow. That was Zhu Bihang did that one, but that's going to be driven by Wang Zhongwei. And that Mercedes by Climax Racing looking pretty strong, so that car will move up through the order where it can. Particularly if Zhao Bihuang, I expect him to possibly move pretty fast, particularly he set a time in qualifying Q2 that put him ahead of the number 37 Win Here Harmony Racing car, the pro car, Mandy Deng. This is the number 915610 Racing Audi of Pan Deng and Yang Xiaowei. And that car trying to move up the order as well after where it starts. And there is the number 98, one of its teammate cars in the field. Number 98, which is the Uno Racing Team cars. Second, the Uno Racing Team cars with Chen Yechong and Song Yiran. I'm certain that's going to be quite a fast mover up through the order too. So the weather conditions are going to make this very interesting indeed. Now, yes, it's quite warm out there. It's roughly around about 24 degrees as we get shuffled off the grid by the marshals. And looking at the weather conditions, it is 24 degrees, and typically in this part of the world, if it does rain, but then it does actually dry out pretty quickly because the temperatures will allow it to do so. We really were getting shuffled off the grid there, weren't we, by the marshals doing their job? But again, credit to all the marshals, all the volunteers that we have, and you can see as well the massive turnout for this season finale. What a fantastic sight it is to have China GT in such a great place, to have so many people turning out for the finale here at the Shanghai International Circuit. There's been plenty of cheering, plenty of flags waving, lots of fans screaming, pretty much the entire morning all the way through, which has been amazing to see. And that's really given just China GT, but also the supporting categories that are here this weekend, a real chance to showcase themselves in front of quite a large crowd. So, again, we'll start to form up. And here's the grid then for what's going to be quite a fascinating race. It is going to be Seppunen and Fang Ping with Andy Deng on the front row of the grid. And then it's the third row of the grid. We've got Lin Yu and Erik Johansson, Yang Baiji and Peter Li on the third row of the grid. So it's going to be fascinating to watch how they push through. Liu Wei and Zhe Jinjie, who are the drivers car second in the championship, as you see the grid move through. And quickly scrolling through to the rest of our GT cars. We'll also quickly cover as well the GTS and GTC class cars that we saw earlier on this morning, when that comes up on the screen. And it was a fastest time for Sean Thong in the number 21 BC Racing by 610 Audi R8 LMS Cup car, as we scroll through towards the bottom end of the China GT3 cars. And if that happens, you can hear and see in the background the cars make their way off onto the formation lap to get a feel for the conditions. Scroll through the rest of that GT field. Now there is our pole sitter in the GTS category. And behind him is Liu Zhechuan, along with Tang Jingqi in the Blackjack Racing Machine. Then it's going to be Gan Erfei and Wang Jihao, followed by Zhang Meng and Roy Tang. Then it's going to be Ethan Ho and Ruan Kunfan, He Binfang and Li Zhaihao. And of course, we've got a field of 10 combined cars. We've got Moritz Berenberg, who essentially has one hand on the trophy in the GTS category, having got such a commanding lead. So it's not really for him to lose in that sense. He's got a lead of over 60 points. There's 50 points available for 2 victories. So he looks like he's in pretty good form to try and pick that one up if he can. So around the Shanghai International Circuit, the full Grand Prix that they used for the Chinese Grand Prix, 3.387 miles or 5.4 kilometers. And this circuit, of course, formed in the was built and its first events back in 2004. There was a couple of small tweaks made to it in 2012, but essentially it stayed as it was. It was a Herbert Tilke designed circuit. The project was a massive success. It really has helped to bring high-level racing into Asia and into China. Should also give a quick mention as well that we do actually have a new partnership this weekend with Xiaomi, the electric cars as well. Xiaomi are here for the final round. You can see it's the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra as the safety car for this weekend. The official medical car is the Xiaomi YU7. So a big thank you to Xiaomi for getting involved. Here's the onboard shot from the 55 Origin Mercedes, Lu Wei and Jie Jinjie. And they'll be hoping to try and score as best they can. But of course as well, the key thing on their mind really is they're going to have to try and win this race and hope that the Eric Johansson and Lin Yu machine doesn't get a good run. Here's the onboard shot from our only pro class car, Andy Deng, who runs solo in the number 37 Win Here Harmony Racing Audi R8. Starting on the front row of the grid alongside the number 710 Climax Racing Ferrari. Elias Sepinen, of course, will be driving that car first, handing over to Chen Fangping. And of course, Sepinen took pole by almost 0.2 of a second in the end. As the field starts to form a little bit. Now, I think the race has in fact actually started. So they're starting it under the safety car because there has been some changeable conditions since qualifying this morning, but it was bone dry. This is, I'm sure, will be just an extra formation lap for them just to get used to the conditions. The racing gets underway. So the timer has started. So it's 55 minutes in that sense. But we will see if it's going to be any difference. So you can see the lights ablaze on the GT cars as they weave from side to side to try and generate some heat and some temperature, some pressure into the brakes to get them into the optimal range as much as possible. Pretty detailed in terms of championship positions. We'll go through who is where. As we mentioned, Eric Johansson with 136 points over Lu Wei and Jie Jinjie in second on 87 points. He's a point ahead of Lin Yu, who is the co-driver for Eric Johansson. So if he even scores well, and if Johansson and Yu can actually finish ahead of the 55 Mercedes, there's not just a chance that Eric Johansson firmly secures the championship, but also Lin Yu could also leapfrog himself above that pair to take second place in the points. And it means that the number 90 crew will fully dominate the top two in the standings. Then it's Huang Ruhan is fourth. He was the co-driver for the second round in Shanghai with Eric Johansson. So he is up there in fourth position in the championship. Now he is tied with Liu Kaixun, who is fifth in the championship himself, having scored a third place and a second in the first two races at Shanghai. He missed the second round in Shanghai and then came back, got a ninth place by the looks of it at Zhuhai, and then a third place in the second race to do well. Then it was Yang Baiji and Peter Li, who are currently sixth on 40 points. They are the most recent race winners, having taken the win at Zhuhai in race 2. Then it's Chen Yinyu and Chen Yechong. Some mixed results. They're currently sat 7th and 8th. Andy Deng, who's only done one round. That was here at Shanghai for round 2. And running up the top 10 is James Yu. Now, he's only done 2 races, and that was the first event at Shanghai, picking up a third and a second. If we look at the rest of the standings in the other classes that we have, it is the GTS class, where we have Moritz Berenberg, who, as I mentioned, has got quite a commanding lead, 61 points with 5 wins and a second place. Do the business again today. Effectively, he's champion-elect already, because with 50 points available for a win and he being more than that in front, it's not really going to change too much. Han Likun is second in points along with Qian Weiyuan on 82 points themselves. Wang Zhongji and Ten Wu are third in points in GTS ahead of Chen Saitong and Air Tong Yu, and then Ethan Ho and Ruan Kunfan round out the top 5. That's the GTS class. And GTC, again, it's pretty much been run away for Li Sai-cheng with 111 points. Bao Tian is currently second with 51. Jack Pang and Bian Ye are third and fourth respectively, but it's Zhang Hongyu and Lang Jiru in the top 5. So the Xiaomi safety car has moved off, and that means that it's now down to Elias Seppänen to get this race properly underway. It's going to be a thrilling season finale as they head out through turn 14 out of the hairpin. As they start to accelerate, now the race is about to get underway proper. It is the season finale, race number 1 for China GT 2025. And Elias Seppänen, a little wiggle through the final corner, but he does get the power down neatly. Not a great run for Andy Deng either. He might be a threat from the 22 Porsches. They come across the line, green flag in the air, and China GT race 1 for the finale here at Shanghai is go, and straight down the outside, trying to second place, we make it 3 wide down towards turn 1. It's been with the 22 Porsche. That's Luke Kai Lu, and Jesse Krohn also on his toes as well through turn 1. Seppänen leads now at the inside, looking there, it is going to be Jesse Krohn. He's going to go wheel to with Luke Kai Lu, gets the place up the inside into turn 2, hits the braking zone, and is in front by the time it turns into the left-hander. Eric Johansson's in 5th position, Peter Lee is 6th, but it's Ugo de Valde in 7th place. He's sharing that car with Betty Chen of the number 91 PA, but already Johansson put in the 22 pressure of Luke Kai Lu under pressure. The Porsche then have to really try and defend from the championship leader, and also now attack for second place. There goes Jesse Krohn to the outside of Andy Deng into turn 7. We go round the outside, BMW versus Audi, and Jesse Krohn is not waiting for it. Side by side to go for second place into turn 7. He's got the inside line for turn 8, but Deng will not give it up. And the only pro class car, he hangs tough around the outside, down towards the left-hander again. The windscreen wipers are going. But Jesse Krohn, despite his best efforts, Andy Deng holds his ground, defends the place. But all this battling is only letting Elias Seppänen get away. He's 1.3 seconds ahead by the end of that sector. So the Ferrari escaping up the road as Luke Kai Lu has a dart out to the inside line. Deng is also pushing hard. This sets the tone. I say bring it on for the rest of the race. It's 47 minutes and a half to go. Out their way through the hairpin of 11, 12 and 13. Now's the long back straight for the first time. The GT cars really get a chance to stretch their legs. Elias Seppänen just darting a tiny bit to try and find some of the damper patches to keep his wet tyres warm. Down the under brakes then. Jesse Krohn has managed to get that move stuck, so he is up to second place now. Move complete. Andy Deng, then Luke Kai Lu, then Eric Johansson. And then back behind them in 6th position is Peter Lee. As the 55 Mercedes, that hasn't really moved any further than 8th place, so not a great start for them. Up to the end of lap 1 then. Elias Seppänen leads the way by 2.4 seconds on the restart. Jesse Krohn in 2nd place, Deng in 3rd, Luke Kai Lu in 4th, Johansson 5th, and also darting around there was Ugo de Valde putting Peter Lee under pressure. That would move for 6th place down towards turn 1. BMW right on the rear wheel of the Audi, having a look up the inside, and there's a little touch, a little tap in the tail, but Ugo de Valde is pushing hard as he can. Ugo de Valde is not hanging around it. He's absolutely desperate to get past, trying to squeeze this way and that, trying every single spot to get through. But still they're wheel to wheel on the approach down towards turn 6. BMW on the outside, Audi on the inside. Someone has to be last on the late breakers. And as Lee holds his ground, Ugo de Valde tries to go with him on the outside line, runs wide over the curb. And that might be looked at dimly by the stewards, but he's put himself there alongside. And Peter Lee has to give it up. He's up the inside line, and through he goes. Now, Peter Lee might have a bit of a questionable opinion on that, given that he was off the road when he did that. But I'll leave it to the stewards to decide where it's up there. Now, Peter Lee also coming under threat from both the number 55 Mercedes, which currently has at the wheel Zhe Xinjie, and also the number 18 BMW, which has Zhang Zhengdong just behind him. And rounding up the top 10 is the first of our AM-class runners, and that's the Li Hanyu and Ojiang, number 328. Li Hanyu at the wheel of the 328 Team Dixel by Gaha Racing BMW. Leaders down the back straight for the second time. Just spreading out a tiny bit. Seppänen holding his advantage. And I wonder if Jesse Krohn is going to start to close in on Elias Seppänen here a little bit. Deng in 3rd. Kai Lu 4th. Eric Johansson essentially in prime championship position in 5th place. Stays where he is, that'll essentially be the title his. But it'll also help Lin Yu to move up ahead of the second place pair, which is the 55 Mercedes, as we mentioned, who are currently stuck still in 8th place. That being Lu Wei and Zhe Xinjie. down towards turn 1 again. Beginning of lap number 3. Gap has come down ever so slightly. It's 2.3 seconds. So Jess is trying to come back at the Ferrari here where he can. And I thought I saw the camera just flash through the shot there. Something can happen. Might just be readjusting. I wonder if Zheng Dong is trying to size up a move here on the 55 Mercedes, which is not really what they need, given that they are a few positions back. They're 3 places behind the new Eric Johansson M4. They really don't need to lose any more places, but if Zheng Dong keeps on putting the pressure on, there is every chance that he might lose the place. Pretty close on corner exit, out through the right-hander at the hairpin at turn 6, now to the flowing S-bend of 7 and 8. This is further back now, we're looking at our GTS contenders. Now Moritz Berenberg is in there, in the Porsche. He's the champ. He's effectively champion-elect if you look at it that way. The GTS category is being led by the looks of it. Moritz Berenberg, who is in 21st position. Ethan Ho is right behind him with the 58 BMW, and then Tian Wei Yuan is just behind him as well. So this is now the battle going on between them. So GTS in here with the GTC cars. There's the battle going on from 23rd down to 28th position. Sepinen continues to try and spread eagle the field out front. Still with Jesse Crone trying to chase after him. Andy Deng in 3rd place. And looking at the actual lap times, it's a new fastest lap of the race for Jesse Crone. There's a 2-minute 1.104. Brings the gap down by another 3:10. So it's now 2 seconds between the top two as they work their way back down towards turn 1 again. And despite the early battles, it's now starting to just gently settle down now between the front few cars. This is the top 9, top 10 machines have got starting to get into their rhythm now. So 55 car, what pace it needs. As the continue to battle here for position between Zhei Xinjie and Zhang Zhendong. Xinjie has got enough of an advantage. He was a 10th quicker than the number 18 BMW behind him on the last lap, so he's got the pace. They're pretty evenly matched, but it just seems as though on certain sections of the course that the BMW has got a little more of the legs. It's about the 8th, about half a second in it. Both of them very similarly front-engined GT cars. The Mercedes is a little more lower slung and more sleek and shapelier, whereas the BMW is just a big GT Grand Tourer. Higher in the air, so therefore the air's going down. But that performance that happens with GT3 cars is always quite key, that they do tend to battle amongst each other fairly evenly without too much of a stress. There is Sepinen, the 710 Climax Racing Ferrari. Nice control of the pace, but I wonder if Jesse Crone's got a little more underneath him here. Crone, who hails from Finland, and he is essentially a works BMW driver, currently racing in the IMSA Sports Car Championship for them as well. His achievements, he's raced a lot in single-seaters, and then his racing record in more recent times, he has raced in quite a few different places. He was even a class winner this year of the Le Mans 20, the SB9 class. So Jesse making the most of the ability that he's got. He's also, of course, raced in IMSA. And was also second in the GTLM class back in 2020 for BMW. So a long time BMW factory driver, making the most of the pace he's got underneath him. He'll close in for 4th place we've got going on here between Liu Hangcheng and Liu Kaolu. The 22 Porsche being closed in by Eric Johansson, championship leader, and the man who essentially at the end of this race, if he stays where he is going to be able to pick up the title, and he will be the the very least provisionally, 2025 China GT champion. If he stays exactly where he is and runs this race as it should, he should get everything wrapped up. And it also helped Lin Yu to leapfrog the pair of the 55 Mercedes, who are still dealing with the AT BMW in the background. They are still pretty close together at this point. Find their way out of 10, 11, 12 and 13 on the power again. Down the back straight. Kai Lu has got enough about him in the Porsche. It is great to see those. We've got essentially four different makes in the top 5. It's Ferrari from BMW, from Audi, from Porsche, from BMW. The second of those BMWs is just right behind them. That's Ugo de Wald. Peter Lee's in there in 7th place. Number 33 Audi. They make their way back down the straight again. They have completed the elements. 6 laps. So still 38.5 minutes to go. Still Eric Hansen pushing on. I certainly won't want to take too many risks, knowing that he just needs to finish ahead of the 55 car and score good points. Even just a couple of points he scores today should be more than enough to get it sorted. I'm sure that Johansson is a racer at heart and he doesn't want to stick. If he's an opportunity to try and get past, he will certainly try to get through. If an opportunity to try and get past Liu Kailu presents itself. Turns 7 and 8. Rear engine Porsche, front wheel drive BMW, 2 very different layouts. Looking pretty evenly matched. I thought there that Liu Kailu was a little wayward on the apex, trying to turn in towards turn 9. Look back here. This is the 85 Audi, which is back down in 18th position. This is the Wang Yibo, David Pun. Which I think has been quite a fan favourite over the weekend. Lots of people cheering on that car. That's one of the 2 Uno Racing Team Audis. The other car, car 98, which currently has 98 Song Yuran at the wheel, currently in 14th place. So both of the Uno Racing Team cars are in the top 20, but it is the Song Yuran car doing well. Looking back at the rest of our classes, there is a... moment we've actually got in the GTC class is the number 21 BC Racing by 610 Audi R8 LMS Cup car with Sean Thong at the wheel, so he's actually holding on the position, and that's ahead of the number 2 Lamborghini. Looking back, we've now got in the lead of the GTS class, we've got Moritz Berenberg in the Porsche Cayman. That's ahead of the 58 of Ethan Ho and Ruben Kunfan. 58 being one of our BMW M4 GT4s driven by Team KRC. About a second gap between them, so Moritz Berenberg doing everything he needs to do. We've got our 2 Porsche Cup cars in the mix as well. We've also got 29 and 99, so 99 is in there, which is the Zhang Meng and Roy Tang Porsche, and then their compatriots in 29, Gan Erfu and Wang Jihao in the other Cup car. Second looking pretty comfortable out in front now, despite the initial closing from Jesse Crow. He's now got the gap out to 2.7 seconds. For a second, there was a bit of debris hanging off the back of Elias Seppelin's car, but I think I was looking at a car that was further ahead that was trailing something. Now, if anything, Jesse Crone is not catching Elias Seppelin, but Andy Deng is catching Jesse Crone. So there could be a battle on for second between the number 789 Gaha Racing BMW and the 37 Win Here Harmony Racing Audi. Could be a change here. Seppelin moves his way past the traffic. And a lap on the number 7 Gaha Racing BMW GT4 and also one of the other Porsches in the field, and that was the 650 that Archer Wu and Che Xiaoyi car. It's the 977 actually. It's the Tian Wei Wan and Han Likun Porsche Cayman. Further back, this is the battle that's going on opposite another of the Porsches. That's the 690, 650. I'll get my numbers right eventually. Archer Wu and Che Xiaoyi. Of course, they're in 2 different classes because the Cayman is a GT4 car, the Porsche Cup car is just that. It is a Cup car, so therefore slightly different. Looking back to our fight for 8th place, still with Jie Xinjie in control ahead of Zhang Zhengdong, so no change between the Mercedes and the BMW. Again, the car not making the progress it needs to here. It's now the fight for 4th place. Now darts its way through the traffic. You've got 3 cars all together now. We've got Liu Kaolu in that number 22 Origin Motorsport Porsche. Then you've got the 2 Team AII machine cars with the teammates 90 and 91 now running in sequence. This is now over 4th, 5th and 6th. Porsche holding its own, but I wonder if the 2 BMWs are going to start pushing here too. That's what happened. Andy Deng, you can see in the foreground just chasing after Jesse Krohn for 2nd place. It is this main fight here between Porsche, BMW. That's the scrap going on at the moment. Liu Kaolu, Eric Johansson, Hugo de Walde, the 3 of them. You can see later in the day, you can see in the afternoon. It's around about roughly nearly 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so the sun's starting to come down. The headlights are on. It's a proper GT, almost endurance style racing here with the lights ablaze. Down towards the head they go. They make their way past the pair of 610 Porsches. Hugo de Walde is on the tail of Eric Johansson here, looking to try and make a move, I wonder, on his teammate. Sizing him up, because through that traffic, it looks as though that Liu Kaolu got through a little better than the 2 BMWs did, and now it's brought them back together again. With Hugo de Walde putting Johansson under pressure. Now, if I were Eric Johansson, I'm not sure I'd fight too much, because he knows he's got enough opportunity to score good points in this race and pretty much give him the title. So I would say that Johansson, unless he really wants to fight it out with his teammates, have some fun, as the 650 Porsche there was right on the racing line on the outside as it came back in. To be fair, it didn't have much place to go. The 2 BMWs took their own racing line, and this Porsche was caught out in a spot it didn't really want to be in, but that could have been a bit hairy with the car getting pretty close there. Kaolu now has come back towards the 2 BMWs. I wonder if there's now an opportunity for Eric Johansson to sense a better position here. He's flashing the headlights at the number 99 610 Racing Porsche. And that will be, I think, Gann Erfurt it was. As the Porsche completely backs off and tries to move out of the way. Zhang Meng at the wheel of that car. It's right down the order in 23rd place. Good driving from Zhang Meng. Well done. As head of them, there goes Seppunen, not wasting any time but past 2 back markers. Jesse Krohn straight past the battle for the GTS lead, and that's actually now brought the number 58 BMW now at the inside, and Moritz Berenberg here might be under threat for the lead. So the Lapri from the faster GT3 cars is now going to put the 2 in GTS side by side, and it now creates a block because Andy Deng has to try and thread his way through the middle if he can. Threads the gap and says, "Excuse me, boys, you have your own battle. I'm coming through for 2nd place." And Berenberg holds his advantage, and so slotting back in behind in the 58 is indeed Ethan Ho, 21st and 22nd overall. Back into the last corner they go. Now they've got more Lapri to deal with, because that battle's going to be temporarily halted again, because the fight for 4th is now coming through. Liu Kaolu and the 2 Fist AAI BMWs coming through of Johansson and de Walde. There's still 30 minutes to go here. And what's also interesting is that as I expected might happen given the warmer temperatures, the track is starting to dry pretty quickly. So depending on what tyres people chose, this might start to affect them. And if they decide to quickly switch on to, I presume they would have switched on to, or started on wets, and they've gone on to something of a onto a better tyre later on, but it's starting to get a little drier out. As into the pit lane has come the first of our stoppers. The pit lane is open. It's the 99 Porsche that's in. And that would be Zhang Meng, who is handing over the 610 Porsche now to Roy Tang. So Roy will take over for the second part of this race. This is going to be crucial now to watch when these pit stops take place. They're certainly enjoying it in the garage, watching on. I think that's the superstar, Wang Yibo. Every time he appears out of the car or gets on screen, there's a massive cheers and screams from the crowd. So that car's well. Oh, and that's his team. That's his team car, the 85 car. So that was unfortunate timing. They focused on him on the screen, and the next shot is his car having a spin. I think that was down at turns 9 and 10 when the car looks up around. It's got going again. You can see it there, the 85 car. So fans of Wang Yibo, you can breathe a sigh of relief. That car hasn't had an issue. It's a small spin. And it did have a spin in qualifying as well, so it's not immune to having a rotation or two. But I wonder if he's not actually being he's not chasing to get into the pits yet either. But I think there has been a change because Wang Yibo's out of the car, and now it's the teammate David Pun that's in there as well. The more pit stops. I think Andy Deng is in from what was third place, the 37 Audi pit stop. And the gap at the front is 2 seconds between Elias Seppin and Jeff Rowe. With Luke Howley still third, Anderson Hugo de Wald. 610 Porsche putting a lap on the 29 Cup car. It's battling away with one of the racing Audis. And this is for position. I think Dennis Yang has just taken what was 14th place from Song Yurang's 98 Audi. Yeah, up to 13th place he goes. Also a couple more places anyway. Because not only is Andy Deng in, and also a few of the GTS cars are also in as well. We've also got 51 Air Tong for Incipient Racing. We've got the 8080 in for Tang Rubin. That's the car that's being shared with... That was the TBC car, wasn't it? That was the Origin Motorsport car, Zhang Jiawei. We didn't have that driver confirmed on the entry list. 777 is in. That's our Incipient Racing Audi RS LM GT4. That's the only Audi R8 GT4 in the field. And that is going to be... Who is jumping into that car for this pit stop? Hei Bai Feng, I think he's jumping out. And in has come that one. There's Andy Deng beating his pit stop. Now, he is solo in that car, which basically means he doesn't need to do any more. Wait for the pit stop to finish. The way he goes. That's his first management pit stop done. Number 2, Lamborghini is in. That's the class. That's the championship leading in class. Blackjack Racing, Huracan Super Trofeo. Tang Jingqi and Liu Zhechuan. 51 Audi. So this is the other big Incipient Racing cars. Busy pit lane for Incipient. This is Zhao Min and Air Tong. So Air Tong brought the car in. Zhao Min will take it over. It's the only marked car in the Masters field. There is the pit stop happening for Blackjack Racing. So Liu Zhechuan will get in for the second stint. As efficient as possible on the pit work. The Blackjack crew get to work to ensure that he is strapped in and ready to go. So, stop is complete. Just running down the timer. And then when that gets done, away we'll go. Also, the pit lane was that battle that was going on for position between the 610 Racing Porsche and the Uno Racing Team Audi. So that's Dennis Zhang in for the Porsche, Song Yuran in for the number 98 Audi, and they will hand over respectively in the 98 car. That will be Chen Ye Chong, and it will be Cao Qiquan who will jump in for Dennis Zhang. There's the change for the Uno Racing Audi. Resplendent in pink. stop happening consistently enough. Keep tabs on what's going with the leaders. There's the 6-10. Just keep an eye on where we're at with it. Sepulveda still leads. Increasing another lap just now. Let's go across the line, just quite one pass in the background. Gap is up to 4.8 seconds. But on the last lap, Jesse Krohn lost an entire second. That's the gap that he's lost on to Revolt. Into the pit lanes come 2 of the 3 cars that were fighting over 4th place. So Luke Howley comes in for the 22 Porsche, and also so does the number 90, this Team AII machine. We've got BMWs at play here. This is the 789 car, which is, I think, also Jesse Krohn. That's it putting a lap on the 328 BMW. Oji Yang. So just head down the lap as a result. Now stop. Then you ready to take over from championship leader. And here's another of the BMWs, the Parking Park number 18, racing by Z-Speed car. And this will be now getting into that car, Zhang Zhengdong. Zhang Zhengdong will be getting out of the car and will be handing that over to Zheng Mingyang. You can see as well, I think, spots of rain on the camera, so the rain has returned. And that's going to play a very interesting factor when it comes to who comes out on top of this one. There goes another of the Audi 610s. Now a hive of activity down in pit lane. There's more of the GTS cars coming in, and interestingly, is that the 22 Porsche ahead of a 90 BMW? I think it might not be. I thought for a second it was, but I think that Lin Yu has managed to get out ahead of the 22 Porsche, so there has been a change of position. There goes our GTC leader. And there goes the 55 Mercedes, which will now have at the wheel of it Liu Wei, taken over from Jay Xinjie. 915 is also in there as well, the 610 car. That would now be in the 915. We would now have Yang Xiaowei. So plenty of driver changes afoot in this part of the race. And pit lane, now comes the second of our AAI BMWs. This is now Ugo de Wald, who will hand the car over to Betty Chen. So Betty waiting. Ugo de Wald steps out. New seat insert goes in. Smaller frame, just a few inches shorter than Ugo de Wald is, so she needs a different seat insert in order to fit herself perfectly into the BMW. Ugo's stint is done. And in the pit lane also we've got Jesse Krohn and Elias Sepulveda. So those two also in to make their stops. There is the 789 car. So Jesse Krohn will be handing over the 789 BMW to Yesi Xiao. And Sepulveda will be handing over the 710 Ferrari to Cheng Fang Ping. So those two will be going to take the cars towards the end. I'll be intrigued to see on the undercut if either the 22 Porsche or the number 90 BMW can get a little closer. There is the Ferrari. I think already made its stop, I think. Yes, I think it has. So it's now already heading down pit lane. Efficient pit work by the Climax Racing squad. Headlights ablaze as it exits out of pit lane towards turn 1. Now it's up to Cheng Fang Ping to hold station and to go drive on to try and take a race win for Ferrari. They would certainly enjoy that, but Ferrari would certainly want to pick up a victory where it can. Considering, look at its fortunes before in terms of race wins, it would actually be the first race win of the season for a Ferrari, because we haven't actually had one yet. So if Cheng Fang Ping can hold on to this position for the next 20 minutes and not crumble under the pressure from any of the drivers charging up behind him, there's a very good chance we could be seeing a Ferrari victory here in Shanghai. We also have to work out as well exactly where that number 90 BMW is filtered out. As we see here, this is for on-track position by the look of it between our GTS leader. Yes, this is for 12th position overall in 2 different classes. So Johnson Huang has just lost the place to Oji Yang. So the GTS leader quite comfortably out in front. Still miles ahead of the number 2 Blackjack Racing Lamborghini, which pitted earlier on. And third place in that class is one of the 610 Racing Porsche Cup cars. That's number 99, which has Roy Tang at the wheel now, having taken over from Zhang Meng. Just seeing that mix of cars as well, you've got the GTS leader, Moritz Berenberg. Oh, with a spin for the number 2 Lamborghini. That was going through turn 7. I think he looks like he lost the back end. I was looking at my timing screen, looked back and heard a screech of tyres, and round goes number 2. And that'll just be just a little bit of overrun on the exhaust. It won't actually be, I hope it's not on fire. I think he's trying to get himself refired, but not quite the way he wants to. I think he's trying to restart it. All he's getting is a lick of flame from the back, and that's not going to help. There's a hot exhaust. Let's look at the replay. So in towards turn 7. Oh, and the 610 Porsche just turned down on him a little bit. I'm not sure if it was just 2 cars going for the same piece of tarmac, or the 610 car was putting a lap on him. But round it went. Now, he's not on the racing line, but he's off the road. It could be in a potentially hazardous position, because it is quite a fast part of the course. And he has pulled it off onto one of the little extra loops, or runoff areas. We go on board with the number 87, 37 in fact, so Andy Deng, currently running at the moment in 3rd place, and only 1.1 seconds behind the 789 BMW, which has moved up to 2nd place. Now the number 2 Lamborghini has got it refired, so thankfully Tang Zhengji has not found himself in a world of bother. He has managed to get that car restarted and back going again. He's way down the order now. As you can see here, this is now the fight for second coming a cropper on the ailing Lamborghini. And you can see Andy Deng's windscreen wiper going. There is possibly some spots of rain in the air. I wonder if that could play a factor with not much over 15 minutes left to go. And also chasing hard there, you can see is Lin Yu in the number 90 Team AAI BMW. But look at Andy Deng, he's on the tail of Ye Xichao already. He wants 2nd place, and Ye Xichao's not comfortable on the slipstream. He has to dart from left to right to try and break the toe from the Audi. And he will try and get something here. He looks one way, then the other, trying to put himself into a position to distract Ye Xichao in his mirrors. Through the hairpin of 14, tries to put the power down. BMW is just about there, but Deng is so much more on his toes here, down the outside towards the left-hander. The final corner, looks round the outside, the final corner, will run wide over the curbing over the gravel on the exit, show the edge of the road. And now as they go back down towards turn 1, Andy Deng will be back in the slipstream. Lin Yu is watching in the background in the number 90 car. Down towards turn 1 they go. Andy Deng must feel like he has so much more confidence in that Audi compared to the BMW. He's in a BMW sandwich here between the two of them. Through turn 1, left-hander through turn 2, and then through 3 and 4 to get back out towards the next couple of corners. Is he going to try a dive here? Surely he must have a look at turn 6 if he's going to be brave enough to make a move. Thinks about it, has a look, and there he goes, up the inside. Ye Xichao gives him the room, tries to get the undercut on the exit, but Andy Deng's got just about enough to hold on to it. And the Audi up into 2nd place, but Ye Xichao's not done. He's straight back on the tail of the Audi. Through 7 and 8. Quite done here. What he also has to be careful of is watching for any kind of attack from Lin Yu behind, because if he does, that could be a very interesting situation. Down towards the snail corner section, another one that's kind of we had just similar to turn 1. Through 11, 12 and 13, this long, almost never-ending banked right-hander that takes some slingshots you right onto this long back straight. Once the wipers are going, so Andy Deng feels as though he needs to clear some stuff from the windscreen. The gap out front is 9.5 seconds, and we'll look at lap times here, because I wonder what kind of lap times he's setting here. Now, the last lap for Andy Deng was a 2:04.769. He's lapping a second quicker than the car out in front in the lead. So Zheng Fan Ping might be under pressure here. if he keeps on lapping as it is, he's going to need, what, 7 laps to try and get closer to him. Track them as they go across the line. Chen Fanping comes across, and it was a 2 minutes 2.897. Andy Deng absolutely flying out there, and even whilst he passed the BMW for second place, he is absolutely charging out there at the moment. Compared to the lap for Chen Fanping, it was a 2:05.357. Andy Deng pumps in a 2:02.8. It's a rapid pace from the pro driver. As for Lin Yu, he's doing everything he and Eric needs to give Johansson the title. Turn 5 and 6. Let's keep chasing. If you can get a podium, that would be even sweeter. Eric Johansson gets to go up onto the rostrum on the top 3. Essentially celebrates his imminent title success in the next 13.5 minutes. Number 99 Porsche, now second in the GTC class after the spin for the number 2 Blackjack Lamborghini. There's the 610 Porsche, which has Dennis Zhang at the wheel, 14th overall. And number 99 Porsche also in there as well. So that's the car we just talked about, going through turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Putting the power down.
好，现在我们请到的是610 Racing 车队的邓天赋，你即将登上赛场。那么你对今天自己有一个什么样的预期 ？So what is your expectation today when you go on racing?
今天我们有很强的对手，他们的时间都特别的快，但是现在我们要追上去，我们掉了好几个位置，因为场地有点半干半湿，所以我的队友还在熟练着，但是我们相信我们能拿到全场我们的对决的第一。
Okay, thank you so much. And he said that he is eager to want a championship of this competition, and he said that the weather condition is not that good, the floor is wet and dry, so that this may be a challenge for him. And we wish all the best for you today. 我们希望你能够发挥出你自己最好的水平。Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. 谢谢。
So mixed weather conditions out there then. Considering the fact we have had some rain sprinkling around, that would have made tyre choice an absolute headache. But of course, the fact that it's quite warm out there, some 24 degrees, means that the circuit will start to dry up a lot more. It's not as patchy as it was before. You can see visibly here, the 99 Porsche. It's not as damp as it was before. So anyone trying to go offline will find that the circuit is getting essentially faster and faster at this point. Now the lead gap is coming down by quite a margin because Andy Deng has just taken another 2.4 seconds out of the lead held by Chen Fanping. The number 710 car is still holding on, but the question is going to be for how much longer. Because quite interesting. Possibly priming another interview in my ears. We'll cross over down to them in a second when we get them. There's the 55 Mercedes, which
现在在我身旁的是刚刚结束完自己前半程比赛，来自 Original 车队的谢新成。好，那么你能够简单的为自己总结一下刚刚结束的这场比赛吗？Can you make a brief conclusion about the recently completed race?
OK，刚才的这半节跑的还是比较辛苦的，因为其实我们从整个周末的状态就不是特别的顺利啊，从调教方面，包括其实在车辆的这个准备上，因为我们这一站我的队友有一台同款的这个 AMG 的赛车参赛那么其实在数据的对比中会看到我们这台车可能在维护和性能上还是会有不小的一个差距，所以我们在排位赛上，包括在正赛上就会非常的辛苦。那么刚才在场上也是尽可能的去想要去保住这个位置，因为在这个暖胎圈的时候是有一个这个碰撞的发生，所以在 T14的这个油渍也是非常多。然后刚才基本上就是尽量稳定的去跑完这场比赛吧。然后在最后2圈的时候也是比较遗憾。然后在1号弯的时候和刚刚出维修区的这个蓝色奥迪是有一个比较近距离的一个肉搏，但因为它的轮胎可能温度可能还不一定够，或者是在节奏上并不是特别的理想，所以在各种尝试过程中。非常遗憾有一个轻微的一个擦碰但是在这个9号弯因为是在刹车区的一个变线，所以其实也是比较突然，感觉比较可惜吧。然后也希望尽可能的避免这些意外的发生。
And he said that because in his car team that he and his teammate have the same car, but according to the data it's selected. It's functional and as well as its system, it is a little bit different. So his main target is to remain stable in this game. And as he said that in a recent competition, and he and the other car has a little crash, and this may be a little bit pity for him. 那总体来说，你对你的这样一个成绩满意吗？ Are you satisfied with your grade?
从结果来讲，不能说满意，因为我们其实，在年度上还是有很强的这样的一个竞争力，包括在过去几场有着相对还不错的表现。那么这一场呢，一个是这个竞争的对手更多，然后同时也是我觉得可能在车辆的这个绝对性能上还是有一点吃亏，因为车辆主要是在车辆的维护上。那么，所以希望，因为这是最后一场比赛，其实我们能够做的事情已经不多了。那么，希望来年还可以继续的驾驶这样的一台 AMG 的赛车，并且可以在赛事、在车辆的准备上有更好的这样的一些筹备，这样可以让我们在场上有多出很多的这样的一个竞争力。
OK， 好，谢谢你。And he just said that he's not that satisfied with his own grade, and as he said that this is last stop of this whole competition in the whole year, and he hopes that in the next year, after a refresh of his car, after more safeguarding and more methods to keep his car more competitive, and he hopes that he will make better grades next year. 好的，以上就是对他的采访，谢谢。
Thanks to our road reporter down in the pit lane, and whilst that's been happening, you can visibly see here that the battle for the lead is just about on with 8 minutes to go, because Chen Fan Ping has been quickly reeled in by Andy Deng, and we suspect he would be. On that last lap alone, another 1.9 seconds taken out of the lead. It's now less than a second, and it surely has to be a question of when rather than if the Audi gets past the Ferrari. Closes right into turn 6. We've seen how Andy can hang tough around the outside if he needs to, but he might be taking a bit more calculated risk here because he knows he's got the pace, he knows he's quicker. He'll be told over the radio, you're 2 seconds quicker than the car in front. We've got a gap now of about 6 seconds over Yusei Chow and the 789 BMW. Don't push it too hard. I was about to eat my words, I think, for a second. Here he comes, round the outside and towards turn 9. Up the inside goes Andy Deng, and there he goes, cool as you like, up the inside and through into the lead of the penultimate round of the season for China GT. Now it's going to be surely him pulling away through the traffic with the pace advantage. So it looks as though it won't be Ferrari today that takes the victory. It'll be Audi once again towards the top. An Audi victory in the last time out in race 2 at Zhuhai. Andy Deng, you can see how quickly he's pulling away as well. Much better slingshot off the corner. Aside from that, it looks pretty static out there at the moment. Lin Yu's not making any inroads on Yusei Chow in 3rd place at the moment. Neither is Betty Chen on Lin Yu. So the top 5 looks pretty secure. It's close between Yang Baiji and Betty Chen. The gap was 0.8 of a second last time as they were across the line. As Andy Deng follows in the tow of the 51 incipient racing Audi, which has at the moment Zhao Min at the wheel, handed over from Air Tong. Around the outside he goes. Chen Fan Ping at least will be able to pick up a strong 2nd place for this car. Look at the lap time difference between himself and Yusei Chow at the moment. He is... okay, well, I say it's 2nd place, but Yusei Chow was 1.6 seconds quicker, so Chen Fan Ping not quite on the same pace as his pole-sitting teammate Elias Sepinen. See here, that's the Ferrari just making its way through on the lap traffic, but there in the background is the 3rd place car, and there in 4th place there background is Lin Yu. He's going to try and make his way past one of the back-marking BMW M4s. Strong. Jesse Krohn put in a good stint in the 1st half of the race to keep that car in 2nd place, and did try to pursue Sepinen early doors, but the gap seemed to stretch out as the 1st half of the race went on. Less than 5 minutes to go. Just one of the fours in the background went loose over the curb on the exit. Lin Yu in the number 90 car is about 4 3/4 minutes away from delivering Eric Johansson. We can say provisionally at least, because of course everything has to be subject to official confirmation, but we can say at least provisionally 2025 China GT title, at least in GT3. All he has to do is keep this car on the straight and narrow for the next 4.5 minutes and change. It will be him getting the mix. Also, Lin Yu will also move up into second place in the points, ahead of the 55 pair in that Origin Motorsport Mercedes, Lu Wei and Zhai Zhenjie, who are back then in 9th place. They're only going to score, I think, 2 points compared to the, what will be 12 points, I think, for 4th position. So that will most definitely leapfrog him up the order. There goes Wang Ping. There goes Xi Chao. There goes Lin Yu. And there is the championship leading car. The championship leading driver is sat back in the garage, watching his co-driver drive it on to what will almost certainly be a strong 4th place, but Eric knows there's a lot more that comes with that when he crosses the line. What a fantastic effort it's been. Even with 2 different co-drivers throughout the season, he's picked up all but 2 of the... Well, he's not going to win this race. It'll actually be his worst result of the season, given the fact that up to this point, the number 90 BMW hadn't finished off the podium all season to date, so he's going to finish in 4th place at this point, unless he's got pace to try and catch the 789 car, which, looking at his lap times, no, Lin Yu is about half a second off, so he's not going to catch him. Here, that is the leader in the GTS class, so Moritz Berger looks as though he's pretty much on course to also secure the GTS honours as well, given that he was some 60 points ahead anyway, so he was pretty much in a position where he wasn't going to be caught. Now the onboard with Andy Deng, and that's the perfect view. Clear track ahead of you. Out in front. Only trouble to deal with is a couple of back markers. You can see you've still got the windscreen wiper going, but there is, I think, a very nervous looking, I think that's Eric Johansson. He's only a couple of minutes away from becoming a champion. Andy Deng, meanwhile, driving like the pro he is, the only car in the pro field. 4.4 seconds was the gap at the end of the last lap. He comes across the line to start what will be not the last lap. He's got 2 more to go, I think. Yeah, he came across the line with that 2 minutes 7 to go, and the lap times are 2 minutes 2, so they should have 2 more laps coming around. So the title celebrations will have to wait for another couple of laps now, an extra lap for Eric Johansson, so more fingernail biting as the light continues to fade here at Shanghai International Circuit. Some nearly 5:30 in the afternoon here, but of course as we get into later in the year, now we're coming towards the winter arc, the shorter days, darker evenings. Lights starting to fade a little more. They practically had the headlights on for the entire race. There's the 3rd place car, the 789 Gaha Racing BMW. Yusei Chao has done a good job taking over from Jesse Krohn. As I said, even though Lin Yu was about 3/10 quick on the last lap, the gap is still big enough, 3 seconds, to not really trouble them. So unless, touch wood, something happens on the last couple of laps, and no one wishes a commentator's curse on that one. So we've got our top 5 pretty much set. And I think we've had an issue with the 915 610 car, 610 racing car, 915 being the Pandeng Yang Xiaowei Audi, because that car's now dropping down the timing screen. It's come across in 15th place, but I think it's lost a couple of spots after an issue. Through the curves of 11, 12 and 13 comes the number 90 BMW. We know what's coming shortly, but I think they're going to have 1 more lap, because Andy Deng's pace, unless he really backs it off, and he's got enough of a gap, won't actually get through, I don't think. Now, there could be a battle here late on. This is now between the 18 and the 22. That's the... It's number 18 BMW, but the 22 Porsche right behind it. So what has happened between these 2 cars? Because the 18 BMW is... No, I think this is for position, because Lu Wei's got through, and now the number 18 BMW is under threat by the looks of it from the 22 Porsche. Something switched around with the bottom of the top 10. So there could be a late drama here, because you've got the Liu Hangcheng Porsche battling Zhang Mingjiang in the parking park by Racing Speedway. Parking park Racing by Z-Speed. BMW. So a possible late change between these two could happen. Also in the mix as well, I've noticed that in that scrap of cars is the Audi. This is behind Betty Chen. Betty Chen is there in 5th position. It's Yang Baiji in 6th place. Louvet in 7th in the 55 Origin Mercedes. They put a lap on the GTS leader. So Moritz Berenberg keeping out of the way, but he's still on course to make this happen. Time has hit 0. So Andy Deng is on his 25th and last lap. A quick glimpse there also on battle between the 999 and the 328. This is for position, also for the AM class lead as well. So a change for the AM class lead. I think that's Zhou Bi Huang, who put the car on pole position for tomorrow's second race, the final race of the season, showing his pace in that car now. He's caught and passed the 328 Dixel BMW. Oji Yang has lost out on that spot, and looks as though that's going to be a fight that will go all the way to the flag as we wait for Andy Deng to cross the line and take the victory. So some very late skirmishes coming through in these final couple of laps. For this man, Andy Deng, who has pretty much driven a trouble-free and carefree race, catching and closing on Chen Fang Ping in the Ferrari, getting the gap down, braving it out around the outside, taking the lead and not really looking back one moment. Up towards the final corner and up to the checkered flag will come Andy Deng, and in a perfect race from the front row of the grid, Andy Deng will take the closer race of the season. He wins the first race of the season. At least not quite just yet, forgive me. I think it's past 1 lap, so I will correct myself and carry on. So it's another lap going on, so it's only a couple of laps for Andy Deng. He hasn't quite won the race. And Andy Deng then turns his way through, so it's going to be another lap that Eric Janssen has to wait until he gets the championship title. Another lap and another lap and another lap on top. I'll get it right eventually one day. So, I think there's been a couple of changes in the order. Yes, so now Louvet's got past the 33 Audis. There's been a real switch around there because 55 Mercedes has passed him. And it's 3 tenths between the 18 and the 22 going for 8th and 9th position. So there could be some late changes here. And looking at the lap times, yeah, Louvet picked up the place and got past the 33 Yang Baiji Audi. Also in the mix as well, which is mentioned, the 21 Audi of Johnson Huang is leading in GTC still, in the BC Racing by 610 R8 LMS Cup car. And still second in that category is Roy Tang in the 610 Racing Porsche, the first of those two 610 Racing Porsches in the field. Probably try this again, shouldn't we? Because Andy Deng has now got himself onto the back straight for what is definitely the last time. You can see its last lap on the top screen. Can't read this time. Down the back straight for one last time. That's a 99 Porsche we were just having a look at in second place. This is going through. We need to look at our race leader, who's going to come through the final couple of corners any moment now. 2 610 Racing Porsches are together. In the 88 Mercedes, but we kind of want to see the race leader because he's going to come through across the line any second now. Is that possibly an imminent change between the two teammates, I wonder? We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, checkered flag is out and the leader's gone through, so Andy Deng takes the victory in race 1 of the weekend for China GT. Second place goes to Chen Fang Ping and Eli Sepulveda in the 7110 Ferrari. Third will go to Yves Saichan and Jesse Krohn. But 4 should be enough then for Eric Johansson, courtesy of Lin Yu, to come across the line, and because of that result it should confirm at least provisionally Eric Johansson has claimed the 2025 China GT Championship. It is the title for Eric Johansson, far and away ahead of everyone else. That's enough for him. Congratulations, provisionally at least we can say to Eric Johansson, he is the champion in GT3. It's 5th place. There was a side-by-side moment there between 2 cars. Who was that across the line? That was 2 spinning to the line. I think it was the cars in 8th and 9th position. About that, at least. So it's going to be 5th for Betty Chen. So it's 2 of the 5th team AAI cars. And as for GTS, that's Moritz Berenberg with another victory. And that pretty much also confirms him and secures the GTS title for him with 1 race still to go. So titles abound in this particular part of the race. Andy Deng with a fine drive from the front row of the grid. The rest of the order comes streaming through to take the checkered flag. Oh, the 977 cars has stopped, and that's just on the approach to the hairpin at turn 14. That car had been trailing some bodywork damage all the way through, but why it stopped is a mystery to us. It's come to a halt on the inside line, so it's not on the racing line. It's just before you turn into the apex. The cars are getting around it just fine. There's the 85 Audi, which was picked up third in the AM class, so I'm sure fans of Wang Yibo are very happy with him picking up third place. Cue the celebrations and the cheering when that driver gets up on the podium. But fascinating race, on which plenty happened. And Andy Deng, after closing down and catching Chen Fangping in that 710 Climax Racing Ferrari, made it happen, and through he went. There's more Wang Yibo fans in the grandstands cheering him on. I think they just realised he's got a third place, so he's delighted with that. And they're all trying to pick up rubber, and have to realise, oh, there's an errant Cayman GT4 that's in the way as well. Then come back through, and Andy Deng pulls up, gets the celebration from his team, and immediately is descended on by several media photographers. Second place, and a thumbs up for the Ferrari team. They'll be relieved to get a podium finish for them. Great drive for Lai Seppin to put that car in pole position. And then Chen Fangping drove as hard as he could. Andy Deng jumps out. One a day's work for Andy. You can see the smile behind his helmet. And hugs all round. They were delighted with second place. Really good job for Climax Racing. Very happy indeed. And in comes the third place BMW 789, JC Chow, Jesse Crone. That will pull in just behind our winners. One car I think we might not see pull up in the top three, it might get sent straight through, is in fact our champion. There is JC Chow. He's delighted. Everyone's delighted with their results. It's two strong podiums, second and third, and a win for Andy Deng as well. Everyone's happy. Including the manager, the guys in fourth position, has given Eric Johansson the title as well. Shakes all round. JC Chow can be happy with that. Strong effort as Deng puts the cap on. More celebrations, more cheers from the fans in the grandstand. You can see how many there are. There's so many people watching on. Great to have so many people packing the grandstands to watch this China GT race weekend. Hugs from team members, hugs from family. Andy Deng poses with the #1 board. Victory for Andy Deng in race 1 of the weekend. The season finale for China GT in the number 37 Win Here Harmony Racing car. Representatives from Audi Sport also in the photo too. And 5 there is the S5 team car. And third place on the podium. More celebrations. Wang Yibo puts the car and his teammates David Cook got themselves an AM class podium, and they'll be absolutely thrilled with that. It's a GTC victory for the number 21, which is the Audi of RSR GC. No, the BC Racing by 610 gets the GTC honours. And of course, we said GTS goes to essentially champion-elect Boris Berenberg. He picked up that win. That would have been his. As well. Let's go down to the pit lane for some interviews from our winners for race 1 here at.
好的，邓毅，祝贺你拿到这站比赛的冠军。Okay, congratulations, Andy. So for winning the championship of this stop. So 你对自己这场比赛想说一些什么 ？What do you want to say to yourself after this race?
因为我这场比赛是自己独自驾驶嘛，所以会获得一个在规则里有一个5秒的减秒。这是我们的优势，但是我们的车子的状况到正赛到现在为止还不是个很理想的状况，总是有一些机械的问题，所以我们的潜力没有办法在排位赛的时候发挥出来。那么正赛长距离也没有出一些别的状况，也是比较顺利，然后也是跑好自己的节奏，也是比较顺利的把冠军拿回来了吧。
He said that he drove the whole race and drove the whole competition alone, so that during the rules he can get a 5 seconds off, so that maybe this is an advantage for him, but also that there might be some disadvantages because that the function of the car and some other system issues maybe occur because that he didn't replace his driver. 好，那总的来说，你对你自己今天的成绩满意吗 ？Do you satisfied with your own grades today?
For sure, we were satisfied with P1.
你用中文再说一遍。
我们对第一很满意。
OK， 好，谢谢你，也希望你能够在之后的比赛当中越来越顺利。Thank you so much.
So good to hear from our race winner Andy Deng there in his native language. And there's plenty, I think, Wang Yibo fans in the grandstands, all looking to try and get a glimpse of him on the podium, I'm certain. And you can see down in Parc Ferme, one of the cars that's definitely in there is the number 90 BMW. So congratulations to Eric Johansson for effectively securing the title. More interviews down there. Let's head back down and see who our roving reporter has down on the ground.
祝贺你们二位拿到了亚军的成绩。So, do you satisfied with this grade? 你们对这成绩是否满意呢？
Yeah, good result for us after some bad luck before. To get a finally clean race is a good relief. Bit shame to lose the P1 overall at the end, but my teammate did an amazing job to bring the car home. Still, we got a P1 in our Pro-Am class, so satisfied today. Big thanks to my teammate for a good job and for the whole Climax team also winning the AM class. So pretty good day for the team winning both classes.
So what about you?
首先很感谢我的队友，还有团队整个车队吧。队友给了我全场第一的位置，但是后面的邓毅确实他 Pro 嘛，所以守不住位置也很正常。然后我反正尽我所能去开，然后我对结果非常满意，也希望明天可以继续加油，有一个好的结果。
Both of them are satisfied with this grade, and they are looking forward to tomorrow's competition. And both of them appreciate the efforts for their teammates. And Elias won first and gave the car to Mr. Chen. And Mr. Chen did his best, but the first place, Andy, he just drove himself alone, and he used a pro car. So I still want to say that congratulations to you two, and hope you can get better grades tomorrow. 祝贺你明天能够取得更好的成绩。Thank you so much.
So great to hear from our second place drivers. I think we'll probably have a chat as well with our third place duo of Yesi Chow and Jesse Groh.
Congratulations, Mr. Ye and Jesse, for winning the third place. So, are you satisfied with this grade? 你们对这个成绩满意吗？
我相当的满意，因为其实这是我第二次开这个车，上一次在珠海表现不是很好，然后这一次呢，宝马官方派给了我一个非常强大的队友。也是非常好的我的偶像长手，然后他在这一个周末教了我很多，提升了我很多。
He said that thanks to his superior teammate that given by BWM, so and this is the second time for him to drive this car. And last time in Zhuhai, he said that he didn't did that great. So what about you? Are you satisfied with this grade?
Yeah, I'm super proud of first of all my teammate and the whole team. It's a brand new team. They're here for the first time, immediately on a podium in such a competitive championship. It was super impressive to see the job he did and also the whole team. So, yeah, really happy and grateful to be here.
他也说表示自己其实非常开心能够站领奖台，也非常感谢自己队友的这样一个努力的发挥。Okay, so congratulations again to both of you, and wish you can get a better grade tomorrow. 也希望你明天能够有一个更好的成绩。Thank you.
So, good to hear from our top three. Now, I wonder if we'll also get a possible chat with Eric Johansson. We'll have to wait and see. Here's the result then. Andy Deng takes victory in car number 37 from Chen Fangping and Elias Sepinen in the 710 Ferrari. Yesi Chow and Jesse Crone come next round for top three. And Lin Yu brings the car home for Eric Johansson to essentially provisionally give him the China GT title for 2025. It's Betty Chen at Ugo Deval did a grand job to get himself into the fifth position. from Lu Wei and Jason J. In the end, he picked up P6 in the Origin Mercedes. 7th for Yang Bitbai and Peter Lee, who lost out in the 610 Audi. 8th place for Zhang Zhengdong and Zhang Minyang in the Parking Park BMW. 9th for Lu Hangcheng and Lu Kaolu, who really dropped back also in the Origin Porsche. And rounding up the top 10, taking the AM class victory, was Climax once again with Xiao Bihuang and Wang Zhongwei, who took that pass in the last couple of minutes to hold on in the 999 Mercedes. And that car, of course, will start on pole position for tomorrow's race coming up later on. Or tomorrow, of course, obviously. It's Oji Yang of the team Dixel BMW was 11th. It's Johnson Huang brought the BC10 by 6'10", number 21 Audi R8 LMS Cup car home for 12th place overall and the GTC victory. And then there was celebrations, of course, as you probably heard, for David Pun and Wang Yibo, who seems to be the fan favourite this weekend in the 85 Uno Racing Team Audi, and that car is 13th best, scoring through the order. And also taking victory in the GTS class, you can see, once again, securing that win and pretty much putting the hand on the title was Moritz Berenberg in the 927 Porsche Cayman GT4 by Max Moore W&S Motorsport. So let's take a look at what happened from race number 1. Plenty of grandstands filled, plenty of spectators. The drama began before the racing even began. 2 Audis came together right at turn 14 in the wet conditions. Starting in the wet, therefore it means a safety car start in the end, quite one of the damp patches on the circuit. 2 laps behind the safety car, back things up, and down the safety car, put the car back around. Elias Sepinen, weaving from side to side, he got the race underway immediately, under threat in second place with Andy Deng. He was back later, he had both the Eric Johansson BMW, the Lu Kaolu and Jesse Krohn BMW up the inside as well, and the fight for third place took place in early stages. There were lots of those skirmishes going on. Ugo Duval did not hang around. Jesse Krohn didn't get another one. I always got the two mixed up. Ugo Duval, again, Jesse Krohn in the 789 BMW, picking himself up there in the mix as well, and quickly also dispatched around the game to take second place. And that's how the race was stayed in the first half. Didn't see this on camera, but the 88 Mercedes had an issue at the final corner, D-round side. Also more battles going on here. He's in the lead, trapping Duval in position down to turn 6 for this place. Now, Duval did hold him around the outside line and take position. Nothing about that later on. This is 55 Mercedes, who was right at the back of the 85 Audi. That's how it ended up going down. We didn't see that on camera initially. It's been on contact with 55 Mercedes. Pit late. Pit stops began, the 85 bit Audi being one of them. As the driver change took place in sequence. GTS category for runners. Plenty of sprint down in pit lane. The GTC S battle continued on. Certainly pretty wide at the hairpin. And also pushing on to 789. Now with its new incumbent after the pit stops, trying to close down the gap. So we've got our podium sequence. Of course, third place going to Yi Chao and Jesse Krohn. I'll get the driver right eventually. Second place goes to Zhenfang Ping and Elias Sepinen. But our race winner, all on his own at the top, in P1 is Andy Deng. Congratulations to our GT3 winner. And he'll get the trophy from the representative from Pirelli. Handshakes all round. And the trophy. There's only one trophy to give out. Of course, I think it'll be to his team representatives. Oh, it's the third place drivers first of all. So it will be Yi Chao and Jesse Krohn picking up their third place trophies. Second place trophies, of course, going to our Ferrari pair for Climax Racing with Zhenfang Ping and Elias Sepinen. Gold trophy on the top step of the podium for Andy Deng. Everyone, we're going to close up together for promotional photos. All right, race attendants in there as well. And our representative from Pirelli up on the podium too. And once the pictures are done, I think you know what's coming next at the end of this podium.
好，感谢颁奖嘉宾。接下来是第一回合正赛全场冠亚季军的香槟时刻。
As the champagne flies, the championship is almost complete. We've had 7 races, now just one more still to go tomorrow, and effectively titles have pretty much been settled. Tomorrow it could just be for bragging rights, it could just be for the glory and for who takes the race victory. It's been a great first race of the weekend for China GT Championship. One more still to go tomorrow. Be sure to join us for more of the action. For myself, Scott Woodwist, and all of us at Shanghai, thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow for more action. We round off the season for the final race of the year for China GT Championship in 2025 from Shanghai. But until then, take care. Join us tomorrow, and goodbye for now.
好，女士们、先生们，我们接下来进行的是2025 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛第4站上海站 GT3 PA 组别的颁奖仪式。让我们恭喜 GT3 PA 季军车组来自 Face 的 Team AAI 90号林宇 Eric Johansson。让我们恭喜 GT3 PA 亚军车组，再次有请来自 Gaha Racing 的789号叶思超 Jesse Kong。让我们恭喜 GT3 PA 冠军车组的 winner of GT3 Pro Am car number 710 from Climax Racing 陈方平 Alex Sapanen。恭喜！接下来有请车仆集团市场战略部部长施世洲先生为获奖车手颁奖。好，接下来是合影时刻。好的，再次恭喜！接下来是香槟时刻。
峰哥，你稍微矮一点吧。啊？你稍微低一点。啊，OK。
接下来我们进行的是2025 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛第4站上海站第1回合正赛 GT3 AM 组别的颁奖仪式。让我们有请 GT3 AM 季军车组来自 Uno Racing Team 车号85号潘君林、王一博。让我们有请 GT3 AM 亚军车组来自 Team Pixel by Gaha Racing 328号李涵宇、欧子阳。让我们邀请 GT3 AM 冠军车组车号999号来自 Climax Racing 的周碧煌、王仲伟。接下来我们有请贝纳利轮胎有限公司赛事部经理潘伟先生为季军车手颁奖。我们有请 DJ Holdings 社长伊达马萨黑口先生为亚军车手颁奖。我们有请车仆集团市场战略部部长施世洲先生为冠军车手颁奖。好，接下来我们合影留念。 好，再次恭喜！接下来是香槟时刻。好的，我们稍安勿躁。接下来我们进行的是2025 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛第4站上海站 GT3 Masters 组别的颁奖仪式。让我们恭喜 GT3 Masters 组别冠军车组，来自 Incipient Racing 51号肖敏宇彤。我们再次有请贝耐利轮胎有限公司赛事部经理潘伟先生为 GT3 Masters 组别冠军车手颁奖。好，我们来合影留念。好，恭喜！然后接下来是香槟时刻。可以上了，可以上了，可以上了。好的，女士们、先生们，我们接下来进行的是2025 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛第4站上海站第1回合正赛 GTS PA 组别的颁奖仪式。让我们邀请 GTS PA 季军车组来自 Gaha Racing 的7号王永杰、袁润琪。让我们有请 GTSPA 亚军车组777号，来自 Incipient Racing 何百峰、李佳浩。让我们恭喜 GTSPA 冠军车组58号，来自 Team KRC 贺正全、阮存凡。 接下来有请车部集团市场战略部部长施世洲先生为获奖车手颁奖。 再次恭喜！接下来我们合影留念。好的，感谢我们颁奖嘉宾。接下来是 GTSP 组别的香槟时刻。接下来我们进行的是2025 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛第4站上海站第1回合正赛 GTS AM 组别的颁奖仪式。让我们恭喜组别季军车组977号来自 RSR GT Racing 田伟元、韩立群。 让我们恭喜组别亚军车组来自 Incipient Racing 车号650号吴振龙、车少一。让我们恭喜 GTS AM 冠军车组 The winner of GTS AM car number 927 from Maximo WS Motorsport Morris。 接下来，我们有请 DJ Holdings 社长 Ida Masahiko 为获奖车手颁奖。
恭喜恭喜 I don't know, I was also surprised. Thank you.
Now let's have group photo.好的，感谢颁奖嘉宾。 Thank you, everyone。现在是香槟时刻。女士们、先生们，我们现在进行的是2025 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛第4站上海站 GTC 组别的颁奖仪式。让我们有请 GTC 季军车组来自610 Racing 29号甘尔夫王家浩。让我们有请 GTC 亚军车组99号来自610 Racing 张萌。 邓天赋。让我们恭喜 GTC 冠军车组来自 BC Racing 8610的21号 Johnson 黄兄长。接下来有请贝纳利轮胎有限公司赛事部经理潘伟先生为获奖车手颁奖。好，接下来是合影时刻。
正下方，正下方。
好的，再次恭喜所有获奖车手。现在是香槟时刻。好的，接下来我们进行的是2025 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛第4站上海站第1回合正赛 GTC AM 组别的颁奖仪式。让我们有请 GTC AM 季军车组来自 Blackjack Racing 2号唐承协、刘泽轩。GTC AM 亚军车组再次恭喜来自610Racing的29号。甘尔福王家浩，让我们恭喜 GTC AM 冠军车组来自610 Racing 99号，再次有请张萌、邓天赋。接下来我们有请车服集团市场战略部部长施世洲先生为获奖车手颁奖。好的，接下来我们合影留念。好的，恭喜！接下来是 GTC AM 组别的香槟时刻。
没了，结束。少说话。